There are a lot of things that happen there, but I do understand that there was a lot of struggle to get to those things. Those things that just drop out of the sky. So you always got to keep that in mind. Of what are we doing? What am I doing? And that's the first person I always look at. What am I doing, and what am I not doing to improve? And how am I holding my fellow classmates accountable?
And to his point, though, I think it's also important. And one of the things, I went to a lily white college. Everybody was like, Cal's white, everybody white, right?
We forget
but here's what I recognize, that I'm a part of a society, a culture of people, even though I didn't go to an HBCU, that I still can be responsible for Delaware State University, Howard University, and other spaces, right? So even those of us that did not go to historically black colleges and universities, other than I just went to Howard to finish the program, but even before that, I could still participate in providing some resource, right, to make sure that college or university does well. And if all of us develop a communal and a collective kind of effort and mentality, I think we wouldn't have so many problems with so many of them shutting down.
Yes, and it's about the money as well. Alumni giving is low. I mean, all HBCUs. And I was listening to a program just yesterday, if not last week, on XM 126, The View, a plug, and they were talking about HBCUs, and a guy from Delaware State called in and said he graduated in 2012, and the reason why he did not give back to his alma mater is because Delaware State didn't help him get a job when he graduated.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it, and I said, wow.
And that's funny you said that, because that's the mindset of a lot of our graduates who have arrived. I don't believe any of us have arrived, but this is the attitude that we take once we have become successful, once we have had a job for a number of years. We tend to forget about that struggling student that needs assistance. We tend to forget that we have even experienced the struggle, the oodles and noodles. We tend to forget that time, because we get to a point that we are looking at finance.
Yes.
And it's really not about money, it's about passion that gets
and the love of self. The love of self. Because if you love yourself, you will love the things that support you and the institutions that support you. I mean, the things that I do is not for me or my children, it's for my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren. So I know, hopefully, if things go bad, they got an HBC they know they can go to.
I wish right now, I wish that everyone who has graduated from an HBCU school and is working in a profession could just donate $1 a pay to the HBCU coalition, and that's going to build a pocketbook where if a kid from any HBCU needs something, it's there.
Yes.
You know, it could even fund a television show so it can go on.
Yes.
It could bring our community together and get some of the resources that schools may need.
Yes.
You know, we always get resources from the state, and the state calculates how much they're going to give. But if we, as HBCU alum that are in the business world, just donate $1 to the HBCU coalition of any, or just $1. If you get 26 pays a year, that's $26. But if you get 52 pays, that's $52 times how many people?
Yes.
But we're not thinking about that.
We do, but we also have to think, because I appreciate that, I really do. But the value that we place on education has to increase, right? So we're talking about a $1.26 pays $26, when in fact there has to be a much larger investment, right? And I'm using that because oftentimes we make those statements to kind of say, well, it's manageable. And the truth is, we get nails done, we get weave done, we get gaiters, we got suits, we tight, right? But we have to place a greater amount of influence, and we have to assess the value of education differently than we do. I can tell you that I sit around tables all the time where there are now parents who suggest that all children don't need to go to college, right? Wow. So there's a fight going on, and we've slept through the fight. We really have. We didn't end up here overnight. We slept through a fight, and now we've got to wake up and do the due diligence to fight.
You know, I mean, the one thing, but also keep in mind, it's not just money.
Right.
Your body. Giving your body to the university, for example, if it's freshman orientation or something like that, you matriculated from that institution, come back to that institution maybe once a year and to speak to some of the freshmen about what you're doing in your career and the university experience that you had at Morgan State or whatever, Dell State, Hampton, Howard.
But it's the small gifts that makes a difference.
Yes.
And you made a point.
Yes.
Because if the alumni at all of the HBCUs just gave $50 a year,
Right.
the alumni giving rate would go up. Thereby, the universities are able to reach out to other corporate entities to get matching funds, because the first question that they're going to ask when you request funds from these institutions is, how much your alumni giving?
Wow, wow, wow.
And that's the thing I would speak to. I mean, it's still a business.
Yes.
It's getting back to, if you run your business poorly, it's not going to survive. So we need to get back into the crux of running our business efficiently. And maybe if we got to diversify and do things a little differently to make it work. I mean, maybe the same plan doesn't work. We might have to reach out and bring in the young minds, bring in some new blood to get a feel and make the thing grow. But it all comes back down to the finances. And then we were saying miseducation of finances at home. People don't know what it takes, what they can go to college, what resources they have. Oh, I can't afford to go to college. There's a lot of resources out there available, and they're not educated, you know, and they give up on the dream. And we need those young minds, that new blood, that could be the next teacher.
Absolutely.
Just real quick, I just wanted to because you said something that just kind of stuck in my mind, and you said about putting the correct value on education. What was that? About a week ago, it was a gentleman who donated, what was it, like $9 million to Harvard University, to the was it the math department or the science department? I forgot what it was. And I was like, wow, that's a whole lot of money to donate to Harvard University. You know, they've got plenty of money. Why don't he give that money someplace else? And I was talking to my wife, and she was like, well, he has every right to do that at his the school that he graduated from. More power to him. So that's the type of thought that he had with, hey, this is the what this education was worth to me, and I want to spread that along. We have to have that mentality. $9 million to a school that doesn't really need it. We have to have that mentality.
And it starts small. At this point, though, gentlemen, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take a 2-minute break and come right back for the next segment because this is a good topic. And I almost don't want to take a break, but we have to take a break for about 2 minutes and we'll be back. We may open up the phone lines just in case there are individuals out there that may want to call in. We'll be right back.
Tune in to HBCU Delaware Talks. Tune in to HBCU Delaware Talks.
I'm Steve Washington, your host, HBCU Delaware Talks. I'm here celebrating student success at Delaware State 360.
My main priority was to continue my education at an HBCU. So I have been more than happy being at Delaware State University. Like, Delaware State University actually has changed my life. I love Delaware State University and the culture, the atmosphere, like everything about Del State, I honestly just love.
Tune in to HBCU Delaware Talks. Tune in to HBCU Delaware Talks.
I'm Steve Washington, your host, HBCU Delaware Talks. I'm here celebrating student success at Delaware State 360.
My main priority was to continue my education at an HBCU. So I have been more than happy being at Delaware State University. Like, Delaware State University actually has changed my life. I love Delaware State University and the culture, the atmosphere, like everything about Del State, I honestly just love.
Tune in to HBCU Delaware Talks. Tune in. Tune in to HBCU Delaware Talks.
What's going on here at HBCU schools? I like what Delaware State is doing, but what direction are you speak on right now as far as some of your programs and what you have to offer?
Well, what's exciting about what's happening at Delaware State right now is that we have some outstanding science programs. Just today,
Is that right?
NASA just announced 10 universities that will receive a $5 million grant to work on STEM, and Delaware State was part of that process, and it's something that is consistent with what we have on campus. If you come on campus, you'll see a brand new science building that's going up.
Yes.
State-of-the-art facility, it's an $18 million facility, and it aligns perfectly with what we've been talking about in terms of elevating our programs and making sure that we have programs that are relevant and also competitive, and we're being responsive to the community in terms of creating an opportunity for underrepresented students to go into the STEM disciplines, and that's something that we take a great deal of pride in.
So I see that Delaware State, we have a campus on DuPont High.
Right.
How can we draw more students from the Wilmington area to Delaware State University? Yeah, because I need a lot of information on Delaware State, so I can promote you.
Right. And that's one reason why we're here tonight in Wilmington.
Excellent.
Is because we want to get the word out in Wilmington.
Yes, sir.
We for some reason people feel that 45 minutes down the road is a long way, and just get on Route 1 and come on down south. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why we're here tonight, is to not only connect with our alums in this area, but also to celebrate the students that are going to be graduating. And just for some information, we have a very strong Kent County alumni chapter. And for those high school seniors that are graduating, and if you can apply for an alumni scholarship from the Kent County chapter. And that is something that we want to get the word out to, because it's a great scholarship for students who are graduating from Kent County Public High School.
I know that we're having an August quarter, because our August quarter celebration starts in August. And one of the things that I like to see is like, I'm an HBCU person for the August quarter. Do you think it's possible?
Well, actually, we came in, they just celebrated the major, what was it, centennial?
Yes.
It was incredible, and our band was there, so we love it.
Welcome back to the show. If you intend to call in, please lower the volume on your telephone prior to calling in, and we can hear you and you can hear us. But anyway, back to our subject, and welcome back, by the way. Why? Why college? Why HBCUs? What's your passion? What's your drive? Why are you where you are today? Is it because of college, or is it their lack of college? I don't know. Can you explain to me?
Well, this is a really unusual story. When I was in junior high school, we were so poor that we couldn't see a dentist. Wow. We had to go down to University of Maryland in Baltimore dental school to get my dental work. So I was sitting there one day getting my work done, and the student asked me, so what are you going to do when you go to high school and graduate? I said, I don't know. And he said to me, white guy, why don't you become a dentist? So I ran home, told my mom, I'm going to be a dentist. And she looked at me and said, boy, you don't get those grades, you better. You're not going to be anything. But that was the impetus. And fortunately, Delaware State band director came to my high school in Baltimore, Douglas High School, the best band in the city, recruited 4 of us. And that's how I got my meal ticket to go to Howard Dental School to become a dentist.
Wow.
Yes.
Awesome, T. Mr. Tennessee.
All right, so
what's your motivation?
My motivation was to green the money. I wanted to make as much money as possible. So I went to University of Delaware studying biology. Awesome. Biology is pre-med.
Yes.
So who makes money? Who do you see on TV making money? Doctor. So I wanted to be a doctor. So I went to University of Delaware to be a doctor, my biology degree. Upon graduating, I see, this Wall Street thing going on. I'm like, oh, they're making money there. And I'm, okay, so another 4 years of school, more debt. Oh, that's going to kill my bottom line. So let me take this thing on. I got an opportunity to go up to New York and start off selling stock over the telephone. And so I don't know if you saw Boiler Room. That's what I started off doing, hustling over the phone. So I got my college degree. That afforded me the opportunity. Now I'm educated enough to go to the next level to get my foot in the door. I mean, that's the key. You gotta get your foot in the door. So you need some level of education. But now I'm calling and selling stocks. I got license, Series 7, 6355. I'm calling and selling stocks over the telephone. Some guy in Ohio, he bought 2,000 shares of Quest Communications.
You know, that's funny. You said stocks. people, I'm telling you, I'm one of them, that don't know much about stocks. So, you know, you may be good for that complexities of
right, that's what I was talking about. Yeah,
the stocks, because people need to know, you know, and we, in our community, I don't see a lot of that being taught. I mean, it's a select few that know that, you know, but can you imagine the entire community knowing about stocks?
A big piece, I mean, not even there, let's think about what's the opposite of a stock. A reverse investment would be your credit card. Because you're paying interest, you know, every month away. That's a reverse investment. Yes. You're not, you got a balance there, and you're paying, it's growing. If you're not paying that balance down, so that's a reverse investment. So we can start with that, just knowing, pay off your credit card. Try not to, you know, build that debt up. So I mean, that's one education piece. We could probably touch on that another time.
Oh, that's awesome.
But even from that, I went to the New York Stock Exchange. From that, calling on the telephones. So I spent 9 years on the New York Stock Exchange with right down on the floor.
On the floor.
On the floor with Goldman Sachs. And then when the mortgage meltdown happened, I was right there trading Bear Stearns stock. Saw it happen right in front of me, and then I got into mortgages.
Nice.
So now I'm a residential.
Nice. We're gonna hold on to that too. Yeah. You heard that, right?
Well, when I was a kid, building blocks. I mean, it's a funny story. It's probably cliches, but it's true. My parents was like, "Wow, you should be an architect." And I didn't even know how to spell the word. I learned real quick, but that was kind of pushed in my household when I was a kid. And when it was time, when I graduated from high school, I did pretty well in high school, and I applied. They told me to apply. My guidance counselor told me to.
Call. Keep talking.
Oh, my guidance counselor told me to apply to Washington Lee. I applied there.
Hold that thought.
Go ahead.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good evening.
Hi.
Yes, this is Ms. Ayers. I was calling because I have an issue at hand, and actually I had been trying to contact someone for a while now from NAACP in reference to the situation I have, and I definitely need to speak with someone to get some type of insight or guidance on what to do with the situation that I have at hand.
And if it's not too much, what is the situation?
Well, it's in reference to a personal injury, and I feel as though I'm not being properly represented at all in the situation.
Well, on this show, we're talking about education component. We can try to answer that question, and if not, maybe someone in this.
What was the question?
The question is about what can you do regarding your situation with the NAACP.
You said, am I asking what can
be? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I said I had been trying to contact someone from NAACP to get some type of insight or guidance on what to do. You would have to hear at least part of the situation in order to better understand what I'm talking about. As I was saying before, and I definitely do not feel as though I have been properly represented. I've been misled in a lot of different things.
Okay. I'm going to hang up and let someone answer that question. Okay, thank you.
What? Hello?
Yes, I said I'm going to hang up and let someone answer the question for you.
Okay, but I don't have you on my TV because I don't get your station on my TV.
Oh, okay. So what I need you to do is tune into the, I will upload the show on YouTube this evening, so if you can look on YouTube, HBCU Delaware Talks, and that answer will be right there for you, ma'am.
Oh, God, I don't have a computer either.
Oh, well, I'm going to give you my number. Call me, Steve Washington. My number is area code 302-602-5149, and I'll have that answer for you. How's that?
5149?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what is your name again?
My name is Steve Washington.
Okay.
Thank you.
I thank you.
Right. I'm sorry. I was going to ask you complexities of color regarding anything with the NAACP because of what you do. I'm sure, or maybe someone has talked to you from the NAACP. I'm not sure. So
yeah,
I will get an answer for the young lady.
I didn't get a chance to hear the question though, so we can talk offline.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Where were we? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So I applied to Washington Lee University, and then I applied to Virginia Tech and Fairleigh Dickinson. I didn't get accepted to Washington Lee. I probably would have been. I think it was a very a low amount of African American students at that university. But I did get accepted to Virginia Tech and Fairleigh Dickinson. I didn't get a lot of financial aid to those universities. So I remember going home and I was like, well, my dad came to me and was like, hey, you know, we don't have the money to send you to school. So you're gonna have to figure out what you're gonna do, but you're not gonna sit here on the couch. So I went out there with my diploma looking for a job and didn't find anything. And this was like when like I said, there's always that helping hand there. One of my friends, best friends from high school, his cousin was working at Chase Manhattan Bank. So she gave me a job there. I worked there for a year, and then I reapplied. And I reapplied, this time I applied to Howard, Morgan, and Lincoln. And I got accepted to all three, and Morgan got me a full ride. I got a Stansbury scholarship, an honor scholarship partial, and an engineering scholarship partial. So I went to Morgan State, and from Morgan State, a very good engineering school. They graduated the most black engineers in Maryland at that time. And I graduated and I started working in the industry. And my first job with Rickard Engineering, I had an opportunity where I was mentored. That's another thing, we're talking about the teachers. When you get a job, everybody, when you get that job, that first job, and you're coming out of college, you need to be mentored. There's someone teach you the ropes of not just the book smarts, but actually how to apply that in the real world. And if you're not getting that mentoring, then you're not going to be successful. It's going to be very difficult for you. So I got really good mentoring while I was there, and I'm happy doing engineering now, and I'm a project engineer here in Delaware.
Welcome to the show. Hello. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi.
When you just graduated.
You have a question? I'm sorry.
Where's she at?
With some Dr. Morgan. What's your motivation, sir?
Most people know me from your show already, but let me tell you that it begins with me far before what my colleagues have said. It begins with me, with a mother who said I could.
Okay.
Right? Someone who encouraged me that anything was possible. And so I've always been the proverbial nerd. I like books. I like reading. I like learning. And then on the flip side, though, my mom also told me to dare anyone who told me I couldn't. So it didn't matter whether she said I could or whether someone else said I couldn't. It was a stimulus for me to excel in education, and so that was important to me.
I think with me as well, I'm a teacher, and I didn't get into education for money. I really got into education because of love of children, of trying to help be successful, because I struggled. And back when I was struggling, it wasn't IP or IEPs, it wasn't spec ed, it was paddle. So that kind of helped me, that motivated me a tad bit. So that was just persistence. Then we had Upward Bound programs, college, no, I'm talking College Try at the University of Delaware. I went to Upward Bound at the university, and we had teachers that cared.
I participated in Upward Bound.
So with that, and you got a stipend too, didn't you, at the end of every week? Awesome. But we traveled to different colleges, but it was fun, and then just learning, seeing the light bulb go on, because I'm telling you, I'm one that I don't get it the first time. I may not even get it the second time, but once I get it, I get excited, and I like to see that same growth in kids. So that's why I selected education. In fact, my undergrad degree was in physical education, and I thought that was going to be an easy course, or an easy field to go in. Phys ed was not easy at all. You have to learn the anatomy, the physiology, kinesiology, all that. So it wasn't easy. And even on rhythm, folk, and tap dance, you have to learn to teach. You have to learn to teach golf and these things. So it was tough for me, but I persevered.
That's right.
My graduate degree is in reading, and I enjoy reading. I enjoy teaching kids how to read. Because when I see that light bulb go on, it's like, wow. And it all comes from what? Practice. Do you all have anything? Do you do something with the energy? Yes. Can you talk a little bit about? We have about 3 minutes. Can you talk?
3 minutes.
No, 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Not only am I a practicing dentist, but I have another business, and we provide gas and electric to residential and small business. We cut the cost down. And we are able to provide you free electricity energy if you go to my website, chase2-energy.com.
Okay, good. Anything else? I thank you all.
We used to do free energy in the hood too. We just plug in our free
again,
cable, everything, right?
Again, I really thank you. I appreciate you. I hope some way, somehow, we can all join in on the coalition and use that education pillar of the complexity of color and make this grow, because this is huge. I thank you. God bless you. God keep you. Thank you. That is my prayer. Thank you for tuning in.
Tune in to HBCU Delaware Talks. Tune in to HBCU Delaware Talks.
I'm Steve Washington, your host, HBCU Delaware Talks. I'm here celebrating student success at Delaware State 360.
My main priority was to continue my education at an HBCU. So I have been more than happy being at Delaware State University. Like, Delaware State University actually has changed my life. I love Delaware State University and the culture, the atmosphere, like everything about Del State, I honestly just love.
Tune in to HBCU Delaware Talks.
What's going on with HBCU schools? I like what Delaware State is doing, but what direction are you going? Where are you going right now as far as some of your programs and what you have to offer?
Well, what's exciting about what's happening at Delaware State right now is that we have some outstanding science programs. Just today, NASA just announced 10 universities that will receive a $5 million grant to work on STEM, and Delaware State was part of that process, and it's something that is consistent with what we have on campus. If you come on campus, you'll see a brand new science building that's going up. State-of-the-art facility, it's $18 million facility, and it aligns perfectly with what we've been talking about in terms of elevating our programs and making sure that we have programs that are relevant and also competitive, and we're being responsive to the community in terms of creating an opportunity for underrepresented students to go into the STEM disciplines, and that's something that we take a great deal of pride in.
So I see that Delaware State, we have a campus on DuPont High.
Right.
How can we draw more students from the Wilmington area to Delaware State University? Because I need a lot of information on Delaware State, so I can promote you.
Right. And that's one reason why we're here tonight in Wilmington.
Excellent.
Is because we want to get the word out in Wilmington.
Yes, sir.
We for some reason, people feel that 45 minutes down the road is a long way, and just get on Route 1 and come on down south. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why we're here tonight, is to not only connect with our alums in this area, but also to celebrate the students that are going to be graduating. And just for some information, we have a very strong Kent County alumni chapter. And for those high school seniors that are graduating, and if you can apply for an alumni scholarship from the Kent County chapter. And that is something that we want to get the word out to, because it's a great scholarship for students who are graduating from Kent County Public High School.
I know that we're having an August quarter, because our August quarter celebration starts in August. And one of the things I like to see is I'm an HBCU person for the August quarter. Do you think it's possible?
Well, actually, we came in, they just celebrated the major, centennial?
Yes.
It was incredible, and our band was there, so we love participating.
2 years ago,
And so that is something we like to do, and if the students are in town, they'll